ABC Theatre proudly presents the television event of the season. Laurence Olivier starring in England's National Theatre production of Shakespeare's Merchant of Venice. We invite you to ABC Theatre next, here on ABC.
California Federal pays up to 7.5%.
How much, Mr. Cleveland?
California Federal pays 5.25% on passbook savings and up to 7.5% on new certificate accounts.
And free services?
16 free services, ladies and gentlemen, including traveler's checks, money orders, and notary service.
Mr. Cleveland,
Yes,
California Federal, here I come.
good thinking.
Federal regulations require a substantial penalty for early withdrawals on certificate accounts.
In these uncertain times, Pan Am would like to make certain of at least one thing, your vacation. Among our many tours, we have a special group called Pan Am's World Tours. On them, you're assured that the price of one part of your vacation, the land features, won't go up if you leave before August 31st. Furthermore, we guarantee in writing that once you get there, you'll get all the land features promised, or features of equal value. If you don't get something, let us know within 60 days of your return, and we'll give you a refund for its cost.
Gina Lollobrigida, 11:30 tonight.
ABC suspense movie and Owen Marshall, counselor at law, will not be seen tonight, so that we may bring you the following special presentation of ABC Theater.
Good evening. I'm Laurence Olivier. You're about to see the British National Theatre production of one of Shakespeare's most rich and intriguing plays, The Merchant of Venice. It's a comedy brimming with different flavors and ingredients: poignancy, fairy tale simplicity, the harsh portrayal of prejudice and revenge, romantic poetry, the redeeming power of mercy. But in Shakespeare as in life, there are no easy solutions. Shakespeare's depiction of Shylock the Jew has become the subject of much argument. Some have seen him as a tragic character, forced to exact retribution upon a cruel society. To others, he's merely an example of the wickedness of greed and usury. I take these arguments and the issues that they raise too seriously to allow Shylock to be either sentimentalized or caricatured. And we have all been aware of Shakespeare's realistic description of the narrow-mindedness of the Christian society of Venice, and the high-handed scorn that such societies ever show to the outsider. You will judge why, and in what frame of mind, Shylock resorts to the law of an eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth. Our production is set in the 1880s, a period far enough away to lend romance, yet close enough for its customs and costumes to be familiar without incongruity, we hope. To us, the play is like a casket, overflowing with bright and dark jewels. We offer it to you now, hoping you will enjoy its beauty, its romance, and its power. Thank you.
I don't want to be rich. I want to be double rich. For girls like me who want more of everything, Max Factor creates ultra-lucent double rich whipped cream lipstick. Rich in creamy moisturizers, rich in long-lasting color. Who wants to be rich when double rich is so much more exciting?
For color that lasts and lasts, ultra-lucent double rich whipped cream lipstick by Max Factor.
Grease. Tough to clean, right? No more. New formula Janitor in a Drum breaks up grease better than any other leading cleaner. Here's cooking grease added to Janitor and 5 other top cleaners. Equal strength. Mix. Grease comes back to the top of all the other cleaners. But see how Janitor breaks up grease better, makes cleaning easier. New formula Janitor in a drum breaks up grease better.
It was easy.
Since I know not why I am so sad, it wearies me. You say it wearies you, but how I caught it, found it, or came by it, what stuff it is made of, whereof it is born, I am to learn. Such a want which sadness makes of me that I have much ado to know myself.
Your mind is tossing on the ocean. There where your Arguses with portly sail like seniors and rich burghers on the flood. Or as it were, the pageants of the sea do overpeer the petty traffickers that curtsy to them, do them reverence as they fly by them with their woven wing.
Believe me, sir, had I such ventures forth, the better part of my affections would be with my hopes abroad. I should be still plucking the grass. But you know, where sits the wind? Peering in maps for ports and piers and roads, and every object that might make me fear misfortune to my ventures, out of doubt, would make me sad.
My wind cooling my broth would blow me to an ague, and I thought what harm a wind too great might do at sea. I should not see the sandy hourglass run, but I should think of shallows and of flats, and see my wealthy Andrew docked in sand, veiling her high top lower than her ribs to kiss her burial. Should I go to church and see the holy edifice of stone, and not bethink me straight of dangerous rocks, which touching but my gentle vessel's side would scatter all her spices on the stream, and robe the roaring waters with my silk, sent in a word, but even now worth this and now worth nothing. Shall I have the thought to think on this? And shall I lack the thought that such a thing perchance would make me sad? But tell not me, I know Antonio is sad to think upon his merchandise.
Believe me, no. I thank my fortune for it. My ventures are not in one bottom trusted, nor to one place. Nor is my whole estate upon the fortunes of this present year. Therefore my merchandise makes me not sad.
Why, then you are in love.
Oh, fine.
No, not in love, neither. Then let us say you are sad because you are not merry. And 'twere as easy for you to laugh and leap and say you are merry because you are not sad. Now, by two-headed Janus, nature hath framed strange fellows in her time. Some that will evermore peep through their eyes and laugh like parrots at a bagpiper, and others of such vinegar aspect, they'll not show their teeth in way of smile, though Nestor swear the jest be laughable. Here comes Bassanio, your most noble kinsman. Gratiano and Lorenzo. Fare you well. We'll leave you now with better company.
I should have stayed till I'd made you merry, if worthier friends had not prevented me.
But your worth is very dear in my regard. I take it your own business calls on you, and you embrace the occasion to depart.
Good morrow, my good lord.
Good signors, both when shall we laugh? Say when. You grow exceeding strange. Must it be so?
We'll make our leisures to attend on yours.
My lord Bassanio, since you found Antonio, we too will leave you. But at dinner time, I pray you, have in mind where we must meet.
I will not fail you.
You look not well, Signor Antonio. With too much respect upon the world. They lose it that do buy it with much care. Believe me, you are marvelously changed.
I hold the world but as the world, Gratiano. A stage where every man must play a part, and mine a sad one.
Well, let me play the fool. With mirth and laughter let old wrinkles come, and let my liver rather heat with wine than my heart cool with mortifying groans. Why should a man whose blood is warm within sit like his grandsire, cut in alabaster, sleep when he wakes and creep into the jaundice by being peevish? I tell thee what, Antonio, I love thee, and it is my love that speaks. There are a sort of men whose visages do cream and mantle like a standing pond, and do a willful stillness entertain, with purpose to be dressed in an opinion of wisdom, gravity, profound conceit. As who should say, I am Sir Oracle, and when I ope my lips, let no dog bark. Oh, my Antonio, I do know of these that therefore only are reputed wise for saying nothing. But I'm very sure if they should speak, would almost damn those ears, which hearing them, will call their brothers fools. I'll tell thee more of this another time. But fish not with this melancholy bait, for this fool's gudgeon, this opinion. Come, good Lorenzo, fare you well a while. I'll end my exhortation after dinner.
Well, we will leave you then till dinner time. I must be one of these same dumb wise men, for Gratiano never lets me speak.
Keep me company but 2 years more, thou shalt not know the sound of thine own tongue.
Well, farewell. I'll grow a talker for this gear.
Oh, thanks, i' faith. For silence is only commendable in a neat's tongue dried and a maid not vendible.
Is that anything now?
Oh, Gratiano speaks an infinite deal of nothing more than any man in all Venice. His reasons are as 2 grains of wheat hid in 2 bushels of chaff. You shall seek all day ere you find them, and when you have them, they're not worth the search.
Oh. Well, tell me now. What lady is the same to whom you swore a secret pilgrimage that you today promised to tell me of?
It is not unknown to you, Antonio, how much I have disabled mine estate by something showing a more swelling port than my faint means would grant continuance. Nor do I now make moan to be abridged from such a noble rate, but my chief care is to come fairly off from those great debts, wherein my time, something too prodigal, hath left me gauged. To you, Antonio, I owe the most in money and in love. And from your love, I have a warranty to unburthen all my plots and purposes, how to get clear of all the debts I owe.
Well, I pray you, good Bassanio, let me know it. And if it stand as you yourself still do, within the eye of honor, be assured my purse, my person, my extremest means lie all unlocked to your occasions.
In my school days, when I had lost one shaft, I shot his fellow of the self-same flight the self-same way, with more advised watch to find the other 4th. And by adventuring both, I oft found both. I urge this childhood proof, for what follows is pure innocence. I owe you much. And like a willful youth, that which I owe is lost. But if you please to shoot another arrow that self-way, which you did shoot the first, I do not doubt as I shall watch the aim, or to find both, or bring your latter hazard back again, and thankfully rest debtor for the first.
You know me well. And herein spend the time to wind about my love with circumstance. And out of doubt you do me now more wrong in making question of my uttermost than if you had made waste of all I have. Then do but say to me what I should do, that in your knowledge may by me be done. I am pressed unto it. Therefore speak.
In Belmont is a lady, richly left. And she is fair, and fairer than that word of wondrous virtues. Sometimes from her eyes I did receive fair speechless messages. Her name is Portia. Nothing undervalued to Cato's daughter, Brutus Portia. Nor is the wide world ignorant of her worth, for the 4 winds blow in from every coast renowned suitors. And her sunny locks hang on her temples like a golden fleece, which make her seat of Belmont culture strong. And many Jasons come in quest of her. Oh, my Antonio, had I but the means to hold a rival place with one of them, I have a mind presages me such thrift that I should questionless be fortunate.
Well, thou knowest that all my fortunes are at sea. Neither have I money nor commodity to raise a present sum. Therefore, go forth, try what my credit can in Venice do. That shall be racked even to the uttermost to furnish thee to Belmont, to fair Portia. I go presently inquire and say, will I, where money is. And I no question make to have it of my trust or my sake.
By my troth, Nerissa, my little body is aweary of this great world.
You would be, sweet madam, if your miseries were in the same abundance as your good fortunes are. And yet, for aught I see, they are as sick that surfeit with too much as they that starve with nothing. It is no mean happiness, therefore, to be seated in the mean. Superfluity comes sooner by white hairs, but competency lives longer.
Good sentences and well pronounced.
They would be better if well followed.
If to do were as easy as to know what were good to do, chapels had been churches, and poor men's cottages, princes' palaces. It is a good divine that follows his own instructions. I can easier teach 20 what were good to be done than be one of the 20 to follow mine own teaching. The brain may devise laws for the blood, but a hot temper leaps o'er a cold decree. But this reasoning is not in the fashion to choose me a husband. Oh, me, the word choose. I may neither choose whom I would, nor refuse whom I dislike. So is the will of a living daughter curbed by the will of a dead father. Is it not hard, Nerissa, that I cannot choose one nor refuse none?
Your father was ever virtuous. And holy men at their death have good inspirations. Therefore, the lottery that he hath devised in these 3 chests of gold, silver, and lead, whereof who chooses his meaning chooses you, will no doubt never be chosen by any rightly, but one who you shall rightly love.
Oh.
But what warmth is there in your affections towards any of these princely suitors that are already come?
I prithee overname them, and as thou namest them, I will describe them, and according to my description, level at my affection.
First, there is the Neapolitan prince.
Oh, aye, there's a colt indeed. For he doth nothing but talk of his horse. And he makes it a great appropriation to his own good parts that he can shoe him himself. I'm much afeard my lady his mother played false with the smith.
Then there is the County Palatine.
No, he doth nothing but frown. As who should say, and you will not have me choose. I'd rather be married to a death's head with a bone in his mouth than to either of these. God defend me from these two.
How say you by the French lord, Monsieur Le Bon?
God made him, and therefore let him pass for a man. Oh, in truth, I know it is a sin to be a mocker, but he hath a horse better than the Neapolitans, a better bad habit of frowning than the County Palatine. He's every man in no man. If a throstle sing, he falls straight a capering. He will fence with his own shadow. If I should marry him, I should marry 20 husbands. If he would despise me, I would forgive him. But if he loved me to madness, I will never requite him.
What say you then to Falconbridge, the young Baron of England?
You know I say nothing to him, for he understands not me, nor I him. He hath neither French, Latin, nor Italian. And you will come into the court and swear I have a poor pennyworth. Or the English. He is a proper man's picture. But alas, who can converse with a dumb show? And how oddly he is suited.
How like you the young German? The Duke of Saxon, his nephew.
Very vilely in the morning when he is sober, and most vilely in the afternoon when he is drunk. When he is best, he is a little worse than a man, and when he is worst, he's little better than a beast. And the worst of all that ever fell, I hope I shall make shift to go without him.
If he should offer to choose, and choose the right casket, you should refuse to perform your father's will if you should refuse to accept him.
Well, therefore, for fear of the worst, I pray thee, set a deep glass of Rhenish wine on the contrary casket. For if the devil be within and that temptation without, I know he will choose
Madam?
it. I will do anything, Nerissa, ere I will be married to a sponge.
You need not fear, lady, the having any of these lords. They have acquainted me with their determinations, which is indeed to return to their home and to trouble you with no more suit. Unless you may be won by some other sort than your father's imposition, depending on the caskets.
If I live to be as old as Sibylla, I will die as chaste as Diana, unless I be obtained by the manner of my father's will. I'm glad this parcel of wooers is so reasonable, for there is not one among them but I dote on his very absence, and I pray God grant them a fair departure.
Do you not remember, lady, in your father's time, a young Venetian, a scholar and a soldier that came hither in the company of the Marquis de Montferrat?
Yes. Yes, it was Bassanio. As I think, so is he called.
True, madam. He, of all men that ever my foolish eyes looked upon, was the best deserving a fair lady.
I remember him well, and I remember him worthy of thy praise. How now? What news?
The 4 strangers seek for you, ma'am, to take their leave. And there is a forerunner come from a 5th, the Prince of Morocco, who brings word the prince, his master, will be here tonight.
If I could bid the 5th welcome with so good a heart as I can bid the other 4 farewell, I should be glad of his approach. If he have the condition of a saint and the complexion of a devil, I had rather he should shrive me than wise me. Come, Nerissa, said I go before. Whilst we shut the gate upon one wooer, another knocks at the door.
3,000 ducats.
Well. Aye, sir, for 3 months.
For 3 months.
Well, for the which, as I told you, Antonio shall be bound.
Antonio is to become bound.
Well. May you state me? Will you pleasure me? Shall I know your answer?
3,000 ducats for 3 months and Antonio bound.
Your answer to that?
Antonio is a good man.
Have you had an imputation to the contrary?
No. My meaning in saying he's a good man is to have you understand, man, that he is sufficient, yet his means are in supposition. He hath an argosy bound for Tripolis. Another for the Indy. I understand, moreover, upon the Rialto, he hath the 3rd at Mexico, a 4th for England, and other ventures he hath squandered abroad. But ships are but boards, sailors but men. There be land rats and water rats, land thieves and water thieves, I mean, pirates. And then there is peril of waters, winds, and rocks. The man is, notwithstanding, sufficient. 3,000 ducats. I think I may take his bond.
Be assured you may.
Oh, I will be assured I may. And that I may be assured, I will bethink me. May I speak with Antonio?
If it please you to dine with us.
To smell pork. Oh. To eat of the habitation which your prophet, the Nazarite, conjured the devil into. I will buy with you, sell with you, walk with you, talk with you, and so following. But I will not eat with you, drink with you, nor pray with you. What news on the Rialto? But who is he comes here?
This is Signor Antonio. Shylock.
I'm debating of my present store, and by the near guess of my memory, I cannot instantly raise up the gross of full 3,000 ducats. What of that? Tubal, a wealthy Hebrew of my tribe, will furnish me. But soft, how many months do you desire? Rest you fair, good signor. Your worship was the last man in our mouths.
Shylock, albeit I neither lend nor borrow by taking nor by giving of excess, yet to supply the right wants of my friend, I'll break a custom. Is he yet possessed how much he would?
Aye, 3,000 ducats.
And for 3 months?
For 3 months I had forgot. You told me so. Well, then your bond, and let me see. But soft you, methought you said you neither lend nor borrow upon advantage.
I do never use it.
When Jacob grazed his uncle Laban's sheep, This Jacob from holy Abraham was, as his wise mother wrought in his behalf, the third possessor. He was the third.
And what of him? Did he take interest?
No, not take interest. Not, as you would say, directly interest. Mark what Jacob did. When Laban and himself were compromised that all the eanlings which were streaked and pied should fall as Jacob's hire, the ewes being rank in the end of autumn, turned to the rams. And when the work of generation was between these woolly breeders in the act, a skillful shepherd peeled me certain wands, and in the doing of the deed of kind, he stuck them up before the fulsome ewes, who then conceiving did in e'en time fall party-coloured lambs, and those were Jacob's. This was a way to thrive, and he was blessed, for thrift is blessing, if men steal it not.
This was a venture, sir, that Jacob served for. A thing not in his power to bring to pass, but swayed and fashioned by the hand of heaven. Was this inserted to make interest good? Or is your gold and silver ewes and ram?
I cannot tell. I make it breed as fast. But note me, see.
Mark this, Bassanio. The devil can cite scripture for his purpose. An evil soul producing holy witness is like a villain with a smiling cheek, a goodly apple rotten at the heart. What a goodly outside falsehood hath.
3,000 ducats, 'tis a good round sum. 3 months from 12, then let me see. The rate.
Well, Shylock, shall we be beholding to you?
Signor Antonio, many a time and oft in the Rialto you have rated me about my monies and my usances. Still have I borne it with a patient shrug, for sufferance is the badge of all our tribe. You call me misbeliever, cutthroat dog, and spit upon my Jewish gabardine, and all for use of that which is mine own. Well then, now appears you need my help. Go to then. You come to me, and you say, Shylock, we would have monies. You say so. You, that did void your room upon my beard and foot me as you spurn a stranger cur over your threshold. Monies is your suit. What should I say to you? Should I not say, hath a dog money? Is it possible a cur can lend 3,000 ducats? Or should I bend low and in a bondman's key with bated breath and whisper in humbleness, say this, Pether, you spit upon me when till last you spurn me such a time. Another day you call me dog, and for these courtesies I'll lend you thus much money.
I am like to call thee so again, to spit on thee again, to spurn thee too. If thou wilt lend this money, lend it not as to thy friends. For when did friendship take a breed for barren metal of a friend? No, lend it rather to thine enemy. Or if he break, thou mayst with better face exact the penalty.
Well, look you how you storm. I would be friends with you and have your love. Forget the shames that you have stained me with. Supply your present wants and take no doit of usance for my monies, and you'll not hear me. This is kind I offer.
This were kindness?
This kindness. Well, I shall go with me to a notary. Seal me there your single bond, and in a merry sport, if you repay me not on such a day, in such a place, such sum or sums as are expressed in the condition, let the forfeit be nominated for an equal pound of your fair flesh, to be cut off and taken in what part of your body it pleaseth me.
Content! In faith, I'll seal to such a bond, and say there is much kindness in the Jew.
Well, you shall not seal to such a bond for me. I'd rather dwell in my necessity.
Fear not, man, I will not forfeit it. Within these 2 months, that's a month before this bond expires, I do expect return of thrice 3 times the value of the bond.
Oh, Father Abraham, what these Christians are, whose own hard dealings teaches them suspect the thoughts of others. Pray you, tell me this, if he should break his day, what should I gain by the exaction of the forfeiture? A pound of man's flesh taken from a man is not so estimable, profitable neither as flesh of muttons, beefs, or goats. I say to buy his favor, I extend this friendship, if he will take it so. If not, adieu, and for my love, I pray you wrongly now.
Yes, Sherlock, I will seal under this bond.
Then go we forthwith to the notary, give him direction for this merry bond, and I will go and purse the ducats straight. See to my house left in the fearful guard of an unthrifty knave, and presently I'll be with you.
By thee, gentle Jew. The Hebrew will turn Christian. he grows kind.
I like not fair terms and a villain's mind.
Now, come on. In this there can be no dismay. My ships come home a month before the day.
Signor Bassanio.
Gratiano!
I have suit to you.
You have obtained it.
You must not deny me. I must go with you to Belmont.
Well, then you must. But hear the Gratiano. Thou art too wild, too rude, and bold of voice. Parts that become thee happily enough, and in such eyes as ours appear not false. But where thou art not known, why, there they appear something too liberal. I pray thee, take pains to allay with some cold drops of modesty thy skipping spirit, lest through thy wild behavior I be misconstrued in the place I go to and lose my hopes.
My Lord Bassanio, hear me. If I do not put on a sober habit, talk with respect, and swear, but now and then, wear prayer books in my pocket, look demurely, nay more, while Grace is saying, hood mine eyes thus with my hat, and sigh and say, Amen. Use all the observance of civility, like one well-studied in a sad ostent to please his grandam. Never trust me more.
Well, we shall see your bearing.
Nay, but I bar tonight. You shall not gauge me by what we do tonight.
No, that were pity. I would rather entreat you to put on your boldest suit of mirth. We have friends that purpose merriment. But fare thee well, I have some business.
And I must to Lorenzo and the rest, but we will visit you at supper time.
Lancelot, I'm sorry thou would leave my father so. Our house is hell, and thou, a merry devil, didst rob it of some taste of tediousness. But fare thee well. Oh, there is a ducat for thee. And Lancelot, soon at supper thou shalt see Lorenzo, who is thy new master, Lord Bassanio's guest. Give him this letter. Shh. Do it secretly, and so farewell. I would not have my father see me and talk with thee.
Adieu. Tears exhibit my tongue. Most beautiful pagan, most sweet Jew, if a Christian do not play the knave and get thee, are much deceived. But adieu. These foolish drops do something drown my manly spirit. Adieu.
Farewell, good Lancelot. Lack, what heinous sin is it in me to be ashamed to be my father's child? But though I am daughter to his blood, I am not to his manners. Oh, Lorenzo, if thou keep promise, I shall end this strife. Become a Christian. And thy loving wife.
Nay, we will slink away in supper time, disguise us at my lodging, and return all in an hour.
We have not made good preparation. We've not spoke as yet of torchbearer.
Oh, 'tis vile, unless it may be quaintly ordered, and better in my mind not undertook.
It is now but 4 o'clock. We have 2 hours to furnish us. Friend Lancelot, what's the news?
And it shall please you to break up this, it shall seem to signify.
Know the hand in faith. 'Tis a fair hand, and whiter than the paper it writ on is the fair hand that writ.
Love news, i' faith.
By your leave, sir.
So, whither goest thou?
Mary said to bid my old master the Jew sup tonight with my new master the Christian.
Hold. Here, take this. Tell gentle Jessica I will not fail her. Oh, and speak it privately. Go. Gentlemen, will you prepare you for this mask tonight? I am provided of a torchbearer.
Aye, Mary, I'll be gone about it straight.
And so will I.
Me and Gratiano at Gratiano's lodgings are our heads.
'Tis good we do so.
Is not this letter from fair Jessica?
Must needs tell thee all. She hath directed how I shall take her from her father's house, what gold and jewels she is furnished with, what page's suit she hath in readiness. If e'er the Jew her father come to heaven, it'll be for his gentle daughter's sake. Come, go with me. Peruse this as thou goest. Fair Jessica shall be my torchbearer.
Well, thou shalt see. Thy eyes shall be thy judge. The difference of old Shylock and base Anio. What, Jessica? Thou shalt not gormandize as thou hast done with me. What, Jessica? And sleep and snore and rend a parallel out. Why, Jessica, I say!
Why, Jessica!
Who did bid thee call? I did not bid thee call.
Well, your worship was wont to tell me I could do nothing without bidding.
Call you?
I
What is your will?
bid forth to supper, Jessica. Here are my keys. Get Yet wherefore should I go? Not bid for love. They flatter me. But yet I'll go in hate and feed upon the prodigal Christian. Jessica, my girl, look to my house. I'm right loath to go. There is some ill a-brewing towards my rest, for I did dream of money bags tonight.
I beseech you, Sir Guy, my young master doth expect your reproach.
So do I his.
And they have conspired together. I will not say you shall see a mask. But if you do, then it was not for nothing. My nose fell a-breeding on Black Monday last at 6 o'clock in the morning. Fall out the year last Wednesday. It was 40 in the afternoon.
What? Are the masks? Here you be, Jessica. Lock up my doors. And when you hear the drum and the viol squealing at the wry-necked fife, clamber you not out to the casements then, nor thrust your head into the public streets to gaze on Christian fools with varnished faces, but stop my house's ears. I mean my casements. Let not the sound of shallow foppery enter my sober house. By Jacob's staff, I swear, I have no mind of feasting forth tonight. Yet I will go. Go you before, sirrah, say I will.
I will go before, sir. Mistress, look out that window for all this. There will come a Christian by who will be worth a Jew's eye.
What said that fool of Hagar's offspring, huh?
His words were farewell, mistress. Nothing else.
The patch is kind enough, but a huge feeder. Snail's slow in profit, and he sleeps by day more than the wildcat. Drones hive not with me, and therefore I part with him. And part with him to one that I would have him help to waste his borrowed purse. Jessica, go in. Perhaps I will return immediately. Do as I bid you. Shut doors after you. Fast find, fast find. Proverb never stale in thrifty mind.
Farewell. And if my fortune be not crossed, I have a father, you a daughter, lost.
Bye.
Mislike me not for my complexion, the shadowed livery of the burnished sun, to whom I am a neighbor and near bred. Bring me the fairest creature northward born, where Phoebus' fire scarce thaws the icicles, and let us make incision for your love, to prove whose blood is reddest, his or mine. I tell thee, lady, this aspect of mine hath feared the valiant. By my love, I swear, the best regarded virgins of our clime have loved it too. I would not change this, except to steal your thoughts, my gentle queen.
In terms of choice, I am not solely led by nice direction of a maiden's eyes. Besides, the lottery of my destiny bars me the right of voluntary choosing. But if my father had not scanted me and hedged me by his wit, to yield myself his wife, who wins me by that means, I told you, your self-renowned prince then stood as fair as any comer I have looked on yet for my affection.
Even for that, I thank you. By this scimitar that slew the Sophie and a Persian prince, that won 3 fields of Sultan Solomon, I would outstare the sternest eyes that look, outbrave the heart most daring on the earth, pluck the young sucking cub from the she-bear, yet mock the lion when he roar for prey. To win thee, lady.
You must take your chance, and either not attempt to choose at all, or swear before you choose if you choose wrong, never to speak to lady afterwards in way of marriage, therefore be advised.
No, will not. Come, bring me unto my chance.
Go, make your choice.
The first of gold, which this inscription bear. Who chooseth me shall gain what many men desire. The second, silver, which this promise carry. Who chooseth me shall get as much as he deserves. The third, dull lead, with warning all as blunt. Who chooseth me must give and hazard all he hath. How shall I know if I do choose the right?
The one of them contains my picture, Prince. If you choose that, then I am yours withal.
Some god direct my judgment. Let me see. I will survey the inscriptions back again. What says this leaden casket? Who chooseth me must give and hazard all he hath. Must give? For what? For lead? Hazard all for lead? This casket threatens. Men that hazard all do it in hope of fair advantages. A golden mind stoops not to shows or dross. Therefore, I'll give nor hazard aught for lead. Silver. Silver. What says this silver with her virgin who? Who chooseth me shall get as much as he deserves. As much as he deserves. Pause there, Morocco, and weigh thy value with an even hand. If thou beest rated by thy estimation, thou dost deserve enough. And yet enough may not extend so far as to the lady. And yet to be afeard of my deserving what but a weak disciple of myself. As much as I deserve. Why, that's the lady. I do in birth deserve her, and in fortunes, graces, qualities are breeding. But more than this, in love, I do deserve. What if I strayed no further, but chose here? Let's see once more this scene graved in gold. Who chooseth me shall gain what many men desire. Why, that's the lady. Deliver me the key. Here do I choose and thrive by as I may.
There, take it, Prince. And if my form lie there, then I am yours.
Oh, hell. What have we here? A carrion death, within whose empty eye there is a written scroll. I read the writing. All that glisters is not gold. Often have you heard that told. Gilded tombs to worms enfold. Fare you well, your suit is cold. Cold indeed, and labor lost. Then farewell heat and welcome frost. Portia, adieu. I have too grieved a heart to take a tedious leave. Thus losers part.
A gentle riddance. Go. Let all of his complexion choose me so.
Quick, I pray thee. The Prince of Aragon hath ta'en his oath and comes to his election presently.
Behold, there stand the caskets, noble prince. If you choose that wherein I am contained, straight shall our nuptial rites be solemnized. But if you fail, without more speech, my lord, you must be gone from hence immediately.
I have enjoined by oath to observe 3 things. First,
To these injunctions everyone doth swear that comes to hazard for my worthless self.
and so have I addressed me. Fortune now to my heart's hope. Gold. Silver and base lead. Who chooseth me must give and hazard all he has. You shall look fairer ere I give or hazard. What says the golden casket? Let me see. Who chooseth me? Who chooseth me? Chooseth me. Who chooseth me shall gain what many men desire. What many men desire. By that many may be meant the fool multitude that choose by show, not knowing more than the fond eye doth teach, which pries not to the interior, but like the martlet, builds in the weather on the outward wall, even in the very force and rude of casualty. I will not choose what many men desire, because I will not jump with common spirits, nor rank me with the barbarous multitude. Why then to thee, thou silver treasure house, tell me once more what title thou dost bear.
Who chooseth me?
Who chooseth me?
Shall get as much as he deserves.
Shall get, and well said, too. For who shall go about to cozen fortune and be honorable without the stamp of merit? Let none presume to wear an undeserved dignity, or that degrees, estates, and offices were not derived corruptly, and that pure honor were purchased by the merit of the wearer. How many then should cover that stand bare? How many be commanded that command? How much low peasantry would then be gleaned from the true seed of honor? And how much honor picked from the chaff and ruin of the times to be new varnished? But to my choice. Who chooseth me? Who chooseth me shall have as much as he deserves. I will assume desert. Give me the key for this, and instantly unlock my fortunes here. What's this? The portrait of a blinking idiot. Who chooses me shall have as much as he deserves. Did I deserve no more than a fool's head? Is that my prize? Are my deserts no better?
To offend and judge are distinct offices and of opposed natures.
With one fool's head I came to woo, but I go away with two. Sweet adieu. I'll keep my oath, patiently to bear my wrath.
Thus hath the candle singed the moth.
Ma'am, there is alighted at your gate a young Venetian, one that comes before to signify the approaching of his lord, from whom he bringeth sensible regreets, to wit, besides commends and courteous breath, gifts of rich value. Yet I have not seen so likely an ambassador of love. A day in April never came so sweet to show how costly summer was at hand as this four-sparer comes before his lord.
No more, I pray thee. I'm half afeard thou'lt say anon he is some kin to thee, thou spend such high day wit in praising. Come, come, Nerissa, for I long to see quick Cupid's post that comes so mannerly.
Bassanio, Lord, love, if thy will it be.
Get the finest spearmint flavor, the great Wrigley taste, delicious to chew. Wrigley Spearmint Gum.
Gina Lollobrigida, 11:30 tonight.
Now, what news on the Rialto?
Why, yet it lives there unchecked that Antonio hath a ship of rich lading wrecked on the narrow seas. The, Goodwins?
I think they call the place.
Very dangerous, flat and fatal, where the carcasses of many a tall ship lie buried. As they say, if my gossip report be an honest woman of her word.
I would she were as lying a gossip in that as ever napped ginger, or made her neighbours believe she wept for the death of a third husband. But it is true, without any slips of prolixity or crossing the plain highway of talk, that the good Antonio, the honest Antonio, oh, that I had a title good enough to keep his name company.
Come.
What says that?
The full stop.
Why? The end is, he hath lost a ship.
I would it might prove the end of his losses.
Let me say amen betimes, lest the devil cross my prayer, for here he comes in the likeness of a Jew. How now, Shylock? What news among the merchants?
You knew none so well. None so well as you of my daughter's plight.
That's certain. I, for my part, knew the tailor that made the wings she flew withal.
And Shylock, for his own part, knew the bird was fledged. And then it is the complexion of them all to leave the dam.
She is damned for it.
That's certain, if the devil may be her judge.
My own flesh and blood to revolt.
Out upon it, old carrion. Revolts it at these years?
I say, my daughter is my flesh and blood.
There is more difference between thy flesh and hers than between jet and ivory. More between your bloods than there is between red wine and Rhenish. But tell us, do you hear whether Antonio have had any loss of
Another bad match, a bankrupt, a prodigal that dares cast show his head in the Rialto. A beggar that was used to come so smug upon the mart.
Let him look to his bond. He was wont to call me usurer. Let him look to his bond. He was used to lend out moneys for Christian courtesy. Let him look to his bond.
I'm sure if he forfeit, thou wilt not take his flesh. What's that good for?
To bait fish withal. He hath disgraced me and hindered me 500,000, laughed at my losses, mocked at my gains, scorned my nation, thwarted my bargains, cooled my friends. He heated mine enemies, and what is his reason? I'm a Jew. That's not a Jew. Not a Jew hands, organs, dimensions, senses, affections, passions. If you prick us, do we not bleed? Tickle us, do we not laugh? If you poison us, do we not die? And if you wrong us, shall we not revenge? If we are like you in the rest, we will resemble you in that. If a Jew wrong a Christian, what is his humility? Why? Revenge. If a Christian wrong a Jew, what should his sufferance be? By Christian example. Why? If we... The villainy you teach me, I will execute, and it shall go hard. But I will better the instruction.
Gentlemen, my master Antonio is at his house and desires to speak with you both.
We have been up and down to seek him.
Oh, here comes another of the tribe. A third cannot be matched unless the devil himself turn Jew.
How now, Tubal? What news from Genoa? Hast thou found my daughter?
I often came where I did hear of her, but cannot find her.
Quiet. There. 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 A diamond gone. Cost me 2,000 ducats in Frankfurt. The curse never fell upon our nation till now. I never felt it till now. 2,000 is that another precious, precious jewels. I want my daughter were dead at my foot, and the jewels in her ear. I would she were hurst at my foot, and the ducats in her coffin. No news of them. I know not what's lost to the search. Why, there loss upon loss. The thief gone with so much to find the thief, and no satisfaction, no revenge, no ill luck stirring. But what lights on my shoulders? No sighs but of my breathing, no tears but my shedding.
Yes, other men have ill luck, too. Antonio, as I heard in Genoa.
What? Ill luck?
Hath an argosy cast away coming from Tripolis.
Thank God! Thank God! Is it true? Is it true?
I spoke with some of the sailors that escaped the wreck.
Thank thee, good Tubal. Good news, good news. But what about else didst thou hear in Genoa?
Your daughter spent in Genoa, as I heard, one night, 80 ducats.
Thou stickst a dagger in me. Shall never see my gold again. 80 ducats at a sitting. 80 ducats.
There came divers of Antonio's creditors in my company to Venice that swear he cannot choose but break.
Very glad of it. Plague him, torture him. I'm glad of it.
One of them showed me a ring that he had of your daughter. For a monkey?
It was my turquoise. I had it of Leah when I was a bachelor. I would not have given it for
a wilderness of monkeys.
But Antonio is certainly undone.
That's true. That's very true. Kotuba, fee me an officer. Bespeak him a fortnight before. I will have the heart of him if he forfeit. Kotuba, meet me at our synagogue. Go, Kotuba, at our synagogue. Kotuba.
These TV directors rate the color on RCA XL100 color TVs.